Did you just get your first camera today and your photos are looking a little bit like this? Well, my name is Nicole. I'm from Sipping Visions Photography, and today I'm going to be taking you to a basic tutorial to kind of walk you through how to take your photos looking from garbage into something mind-blowing that could once end up on somebody's wall. So stay tuned and let's go through the little basics that could take your photos from 1 all the way up to 100. So are your photos coming out a little bit too grainy or very, very dark? Well, one simple trick can help you master those photos for perfection, and that's called ISO. What ISO is essentially exposure, adding artificial light to your photo. So if you're in a very bright environment, such as a sunny midday or towards like the early mornings when the sun's already up, you ideally want to be in a lower ISO situation. You don't want to have your camera add artificial light in to make it more difficult to go and get those sharp, clean pictures. Whereas if you're in darker environments, say the studio, for example, you want a little bit more ISO if you don't have any external lighting. What that'll do is help your camera be able to focus and get your photos to the best of their ability, but if you crank it a little too high, you're gonna get those noisy, grainy photos, and if you have it too low, you're gonna have the issue of having too dark of a photo. Best rule of thumb is to start off with changing your other settings first and have your ISO for last. If you've already adjusted for your shutter speed as well as your aperture, then start playing around with your ISO and see where you can get. But ideally, as a rule of thumb, don't try to move it too high, try to keep it as low as you possibly can, and if you can, edit it up in post later down the line. In Lightroom and Photoshop, they also have a nice denoise tool that can help you go ahead and remove some of that grain if you do end up taking your photos in very dark environments where you have to crank it up pretty high. A good rule of thumb there is if you're anything beyond 3200 ISO, ideally you should check it out, make sure your photo is sharp, and if it's not, try to see if you can use some external tools like Photoshop or Lightroom to go and help you.